Looking at the prom poster on the wall, I thought to myself, damn it, the prom will happen in just a week, and yet not a single guy in the school invited me there. Minus 2% of the male students who were gay, 53% who already had a partner. That meant there were more than 348 male students who thought of me as an unattractive nerd. Geez, they didn't know that my body also had a sexy part. It's my brain. At lunchtime, my girlfriends excitedly talked about the upcoming prom and made a huge to-do list. I was the only one who didn't join the fun. Micah, my best friend, was curious and asked me, Jane, who's gonna be your partner that day? Well, nobody's gonna do that. Don't ask such a difficult thing. July and her minions appeared out of nowhere. They gleefully laughed as they made fun of me. It wasn't the first time that happened. For a long time, July was known as the most beautiful, but also the meanest blonde in our school. She always chose me as a target for bullying. Why are you always so mean to me? Because you're ugly. Isn't it clear? July laughed manically. That drove me crazy. Dare to make a bet? If I become the prom queen this year, you'll have to wear the school mascot costume from now until the end of the school year. I pointed at the worn-out chicken suit in the room's corner. And what if you lose? Then I'll wear that suit. You look worse than that, but fine, I accept your challenge. You'll learn that you can never win against me. After saying that, July turned and left. When I calmed down, I realized how stupid I was. Beating July in a beauty contest? That's impossible. Micah and my girlfriend started encouraging me. They promised to fully support me in this competition. Thanks to that, my confidence was slightly boosted. The very next day, we regrouped to make a plan. After counting all the possibilities, my chance of winning against July was about 2%. That sucks. If we can't win against the opponent, we just need to ruin them. Micah suddenly suggested, foul play against July? Not bad. I felt unsure about it, though. One day, after shopping for a prom dress with my girlfriends, I went home alone. When I was going through a deserted area, I suddenly heard a loud scream. I approached it curiously and discovered a shocking scene. A drunk man was threatening July. I was hesitant at first and thought about leaving her there since we were rivals. But looking at her weak resistance, I couldn't bear it. I reached for a nearby board and quickly rushed there and hit the man so hard that he fell over. "Stop! That's my dad!" July suddenly exclaimed. Surprised, I stopped immediately as the man quickly ran away. After we calmed down, we sat down and started talking. Turns out, July's dad was an alcoholic and often abused her. On the outside, July tried to appear mean and sarcastic, but in reality, she was very pitiful. July begged me not to tell anyone at school because it embarrassed her. Seeing her pitiful appearance, I nodded in agreement. A few days later, when the prom finally took place, as predicted, July was selected as the prom queen. I sadly looked at the chicken suit and thought about my stupid challenge earlier. Geez, so I would have to stick with it until the end of the year. But suddenly, while giving a speech on the stage, July broke the crown in half. She called me up on stage and gave me half of it. "Real queens fix each other's crowns. You're absolutely a real queen, Jane." And we hugged each other. At that moment, all hatred disappeared. Since that day, July has changed a lot. She's no longer bullying anyone or being mean to people. And the most special thing is, we have become very close friends.
When I stepped out, suddenly a paint bucket fell on my head. "Welcome to the new school, country bumpkin." Bella and her minions laughed at me. Damn it, this is not what I expected at my new school. Hi, I'm Haley, 16 years old. Even in my wildest dream, I couldn't have imagined that one day I would attend the richest school in the world. It all started after I won the first prize in an international physics competition. Soon after, a famous Swiss boarding school sent me an invitation to join their school. With a scholarship of more than $300,000, I immediately accepted. Although I knew that school was crazy rich, I was still amazed because it was like a luxury resort. It has 10 tennis courts, an open-air theater, a sauna, a swimming pool, an equestrian center, and even a yacht. It's so crazy, right? On the first day of school, I was so excited to make new friends. We were all quite friendly, except for Bella, my class president. As soon as I reached out my hand to her, Bella immediately swatted it away. You country bumpkin. Who do you think you are? No one here wants to be friends with you. After saying that, she tossed her hair and left. What a snob! At that moment, a hand kindly reached out to me. It belonged to a handsome boy with beautiful platinum hair. Just ignore her. I'd love to know you. I'm Waldo. Thanks. I'm Haley. I just don't understand why she's so mad at me. Oh, Bella's still bitter because you beat her in the last international physics competition. Oh, I see now. We were rivals. Waldo explained to me that Bella was the daughter of an English duchess. Since childhood, with her aggressive nature, she had always put herself above others. Bella didn't need the prize, but just wanted to be on top. Don't worry, she just needed some time to accept that she had lost. Waldo comforted me, but we didn't expect that things would turn out so differently. From that day on, Bella deliberately sought to get revenge on me. Once because I couldn't afford a horse like my classmates to participate in the equites. I decided to volunteer to do the cleaning and work at the school's equestrian center to familiarize myself with the sport. Knowing that, Bella mocked me in front of the whole class. Looks like this job was made for you, country bumpkin. Not only that, during the riding lesson when I was struggling to control my horse, Bella suddenly slapped its butt, causing it to jump up and knock me to the ground. I soon became the laughingstock of the whole school. To teach the students the value of hard work, our school has a policy that students will take turns serving lunch. On my duty, Bella purposely put a Band-Aid on her plate and accused me of doing it. Unbelievably, I was punished with serving lunches for weeks. I really hated Bella, but instead of getting revenge on that evil by playing the same kind of dirty tricks, I wanted to win against her with my own power. That day, during swimming class, Bella mocked me again. Country bumpkin, even your body is ugly. Let's see if you can win against this ugly body. I challenged her to a duel in high diving. Fine. Then we competed to see who could jump and dive at the highest level. 3-meter high, then 5-meter high. Bella and I passed each level. But at 10 meters high, while Bella easily jumped, I started to get cold feet. Just looking down made me uneasy. Even though I didn't want to admit it, she won. Disappointed, I decided to give up. But when I turned around, Bella suddenly appeared behind me. It's not over yet, country bumpkin. After saying that, she immediately pushed me down. Because the impact with the water was too strong, I fainted on the spot. But luckily, Waldo showed up in time and saved me. That's enough, Bella. Stop being so cruel. Then he carried me to the changing room. Since that day, Waldo and I have become closer. He always protected me from Bella's horrible pranks. One day, right after Waldo left when we had finished lunch together, Bella furiously appeared. Stay away from Waldo, country bumpkin. Don't be ridiculous. You're ridiculous. Waldo is the son of a British prince. We've been betrothed to each other since childhood. Stop trying to take advantage of him. I was shocked when I heard that, but despite Bella's threats, I still ignored her. I don't take advantage of Waldo. We're friends, and you have no right to force me to do whatever you want. But it was sad to hear that Waldo was going to marry Bella. He deserved someone better. As Christmas was coming, the students started to pack their bags to return home for winter break. I was no exception. But when I was done, suddenly the news said that there was a big storm in the U.S. The planes couldn't take off, so I was stuck there for a few days. I seemed to be the only one in the whole school that winter. But surprisingly, when I went to the library, I saw Waldo there. You're still here? Yeah, I don't want to come home. Nobody's waiting for me. Waldo looked at me with a sad expression. He said that despite having a life that many people wanted, he always felt lonely in his own home. His parents were always busy. They didn't have time to care about their only son. Although he's the son of a prince, he didn't have the right to make his own decisions when even his marriage was arranged by his parents. In addition, Waldo also told me that his parents had decided to break up. However, they had to hide that to avoid becoming the prey of the media. I felt sad for Waldo and tried to comfort him. And somehow we gave each other a passionate kiss. A few days later, the storm dissipated. I said goodbye to Waldo and returned to my house. During that vacation, we texted each other a lot. After winter break, we met again, but we weren't happy for long when disaster struck. Suddenly, a picture of me and Waldo kissing in the library spread everywhere. Not only that, confidential information about his parents' divorce was also revealed. Waldo angrily assumed that I was the culprit and that he should have listened to Bella's warning. After that, Waldo took a break from school to avoid prying eyes. He also cut me off even though I tried to explain. After days of depression, I decided to get back on my feet by finding out who was behind it. I spent a lot of time investigating that photo. However, it was too difficult. While I was stuck, my phone received a notification from Bella's personal page. She just posted a picture and suddenly I realized something strange. I realized that her photo and my leaked one had something in common. There were dead pixels. Maybe Bella dropped her phone so her camera had a crack. It was very small and barely noticeable, but when looked closely, it appeared in most of the photos that Bella posted. That day, when Waldo went back to school, I tried to tell him about that secret. However, Bella and her bodyguards stopped me. They wouldn't let me get close to Waldo. So waiting until he went alone to the boys' restroom, I sneaked in. "What are you doing here?" Waldo yelled and immediately called the bodyguards to drag me out. "Wait, just this time, please watch this. You'll understand it all." When I showed him the photos and explained everything, he was shocked and understood the truth. He sheepishly apologized to me. "Haley, sorry for doubting you." "It's okay. I forgive you." I smiled at Waldo. At that moment, all misunderstandings between us disappeared. Soon, Waldo's parents decided to cancel the engagement between Bella and Waldo. They realized that Bella was too evil and Waldo had the right to decide for himself what he wanted. Waldo's very happy and everything has gotten so much better now.
My dad threw my skincare products on the floor. "Why do you have these women's products in your room?" I was terrified. They're not mine. They're Joyce's. Dad glared at me for a long time. "Really? Don't forget you're a man, Tobias. I heard you joined a club at school. What club is that?" It's the rugby club." My dad growled. "I want to come to your next match, okay?" "Yes, Dad." "Hi, I'm Tobias, 16 years old. I haven't told my dad that I'm gay because he's too strict. He always wanted me to be manly and strong." I tiredly lie down on the bed. Joyce, my sister, rushed into the room. "What happened?" "I just told Dad I signed up for the rugby club, while actually, I joined the contemporary dance team. He'll kill me if he knows the truth." "Why don't you join both?" "No way! My crush is that team captain." "What are you afraid of? I'll help you." The very next day, suddenly Zev, my crush, came to class looking for me. "Hi, I just received your mail asking to join our team last night. We look forward to it. We're in dire need of a midfielder. But wait, Don't worry, you will be fully supported. Then Zev passionately gave a presentation about the rugby team. With that enthusiasm, I didn't have the heart to refuse him. That night, Joyce said that she was the one who sent that mail, both to help me hide the truth from Dad and to make it easier for me to approach my crush. Oh gosh, having a sister is such a pain. Since I was not familiar with rugby, I was clumsy and got mocked by the other members. They looked down on boys who came from the dance team. But Zev was different. He protected me from everyone's cruel jokes. In the late afternoon, he usually stayed behind and taught me how to pitch. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. During a practice, Zev asked me, "Hey, do you really want to play rugby?" The truth is, I don't enjoy it. Then why did you join the team? Well, my sister was the one who sent you that mail. I just joined the team so I could hide the truth from my dad. Hide what? That I'm gay, and I'm not as manly as he wants. Zev looked at me with sympathy and determination. I'll help you. Zev helped me train day and night and convinced the coach to let me join the main team. I finally was allowed on the field. My dad and Joyce sat in the stands. He seemed so happy that what I said was true. When my team won, Dad ran down to hug me. Well done, son. I'm proud of you. I smiled and turned around, introducing Zev to my family. Zev praised me nonstop and said that I was a big contributor to the team. My dad was so excited that he invited him home for dinner. As I got worried, Zev leaned close to my ear and said mischievously, "Don't worry, I'll help you become a strong man in your father's eyes." That night, my dad, Joyce, and Zev talked a lot. Thanks to Zev's stories and flattery, Dad stopped questioning my sexuality. Since then, Zev has grown closer to us. He often came to my house to hang around and have dinner. Besides rugby, I also practiced in the dance team every afternoon. Zev always patiently waited for me to come home together. Once while I was dancing, Zev rushed into the practice room and dragged me away. "We gotta go. Your dad just texted me. He's coming to watch you practice." I hurriedly called Joyce to the rescue. In just 10 minutes, she showed up and brought me rugby clothes to change. Zev said amusedly, "You and Joyce seem so close." "Yes, she's my guardian angel." Zev suddenly handed me a small box. "Hey, I have something for you. Just some cookies. Share it with Joyce. I gotta go now. Bye." My heart pounded loudly. Zev gave me cookies? Instead of sharing them with Joyce, I kept them in my drawer. I'll treasure this for the rest of my life. And then, every day Zev gave me a box of cookies. Could it be that he realized my feelings? I asked Joyce, "Did you tell Zev that I like him?" "No. Why are you asking that?" "No, I just want to be sure." I shouldn't have told Joyce about it, or she would scream at me for not sharing those cookies. That Christmas, Zev came over to my house to celebrate. We decided to play Secret Santa. Each person would draw a name and prepare a gift for them, then secretly put it under the Christmas tree. Joyce was in charge of writing names, and she mischievously whispered to me, "I'll put a little mark on the paper with Zev on it. This is your chance to confess to him." Thanks to that, I quickly got the paper with his name. I prepared a beautiful gift box with rugby patterned wrapping paper and a Christmas card that had my love confession to Zev. But surprisingly, when we gathered on Christmas Eve, someone left a gift with the wrapping paper that looked exactly like mine under the Christmas tree. What's going on? When it came to the gifting part, Zev picked one of the two boxes and my dad picked the other one. That night, Zev stayed and slept in the same room as me. "I'll open this gift. I wonder what it is." Out of embarrassment, I said, "I'll go out and get some things." When I returned, I saw Zev waiting for me at the door. Instead of being happy about my love letter, he was extremely enraged. "You're so selfish. You've ruined everything." Before I could understand anything, Zev grabbed my arm and dragged me into my room, pointing down at the drawer where I hid the boxes of cookies that he gave me. "Why are you hiding these instead of giving them to Joyce?" "What? Aren't those your gifts to me? And I always told you to share them with Joyce. Zev opened the boxes, and at the bottom of each box was a love letter or note for Joyce. Because you hid all these things, Joyce didn't know my feelings. It was too much of a shock. I've never opened it before, so I didn't know. Suddenly, I became an obstacle to their love. Zev angrily left. I tried to run after him, begging to explain myself, but to no avail. Suddenly, we saw my dad sitting quietly in the living room. He said, "Zev, I have something private to tell you. Tobias, go back to your room." Dad and Zev went out on the balcony to talk. Out of fear and curiosity, I stood outside and looked through the gap in the door. Dad suddenly gave Zev the gift he picked earlier and said, "I picked up the gift Tobias meant for you and read his love letter. I knew he was gay for a long time, but didn't dare to face it and forced him to be strong and masculine. He has had to hide his true self for so long, and I don't want him to continue that. If he confesses his love to you, please don't be cruel to him." As I heard those words, tears welled up in my eyes. When they went inside, they were surprised when I was standing there. "Dad, I'm sorry I couldn't become a strong man as you want." "No, son. Being strong is to bravely live as who you are. Just be yourself." I turned to Zev. "Sorry for making things worse. I misunderstood your feelings." "It's okay, Tobias. I misunderstood you too. Peace?" My dad was surprised. "You're not going to confess?" "Nah, I'll find someone else. I'll help him with Joyce." We hugged each other and laughed, while Joyce was sleeping soundly upstairs, not knowing what was going on. I accidentally came out that Christmas, but it was not as bad as I thought. Now I can join the dance club at school and live more comfortably as who I am. As for Zev, he's like a brother to me now. With my help, he and Joyce are together. And you? Have you found someone special this Christmas?